Greg, welcome to my show. You've worked a long time in audio. How are you doing over there, and how did you get into this job?
Well, you know, things over here in Cebu, Fritz, are actually very hot. We've been having extreme temperatures and like no breeze at all. So I'm preferring to hang out in the luxury of the aircon currently. Right now, I'm at the International Academy of Film and Television, and I'm focusing on the sound component of all the film teachings. We've started a new program, which is a sound design program, especially for guys who are interested in sound, well, guys and gals interested in the sound. So we're trying to up the level of sound awareness around here. As you know, when I came in as a consultant on a 6-month contract to Bigfoot Studios, and from there got extended and eventually became the head of the sound department. But now I think it's time for me to focus on the educational component.
Greg, I know audio and sound, that's been your passion for a long time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this. And my question, first of all, would be, how did you get into this? How did you get into sound? Why sound, and why sound on film?
Well, you know, oddly enough, that was not my first choice. When I was 17, I became an apprentice film editor. A very good friend of my father's was the top film editor in Chicago, and he was looking for a new apprentice. I was young and had no idea what I was getting into, of course, and said sure, I'd like to. And it turned out that I was fairly good at it. But I was much more involved in picture at that point. I did do some sound. We recorded our own production sound when there was. We recorded sound effects and ambiances and stuff like that. But it was mostly putting the picture together with sound and adding the effects, and then selecting some music, putting the music together. Kind of a pretty straight commercial situation. I ended up having some good national clients, United Airlines, Mercedes-Benz, Piper Airplanes, and so I was kind of firmly on my way as a picture editor. And it wasn't until I decided to move to Los Angeles that my head kind of changed around. I had three reels of projects, and absolutely nobody wanted to see them. And through a series of chance events, I ended up working at Disney in the mailroom. Okay, so I went from being one of the hottest young editors in Chicago to working in the mailroom. But it was at Disney, and so it was at a major studio. And one of the guys in the sound department over there just happened to also be from Chicago, and knew the guy I had studied with, or I had worked with, and eventually that led to a position in the sound department. So it was completely by chance. And then I learned all of the sound component stuff after that, and didn't cut any picture very much anymore.
Your life in LA, what happened? So you took off in the mailroom. You ended up doing sound because of the Chicago clan connection. What happened next? Where did it go?
We did. I moved up I started, of course, at the bottom of the food chain in the sound department, carrying cans back and forth. I graduated to being able to clean film and, maybe splice short ends together and stuff like that. And then I graduated to patching, helping on the dubbing stage, patching. And did it all very well. I mean, one of the things, of course, that's really important is no matter what your job is, do it to the best of your ability. That's the only way anybody's going to notice you. So, all along the way, people would notice, and I'd get elevated to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And it wasn't very long at all before I was a mixer. So I ran through that path very, very rapidly. I mean, so rapidly that I managed to piss off a lot of my colleagues who were still trying to climb the ladder, and I was just bounding up. So then worked at Disney for a while. Had good TV clients. Started with Stephen Cannell, all his shows, A-Team, Hunter, Stingray, Wise Guy. Whatever the rest of them were. There were about 5 or 6 shows. Then I did Moonlighting there, and then started doing some features. Did a series of features with Bette Midler, Big Business, Beaches. What else? The Robin Williams one, Good Morning Vietnam. And at that point there was kind of a change in management at Disney. There was kind of a buyout, and that's when Eisner and Katzenberg came in. And at that point, probably one of the best things that ever happened to me happened. I was fired. And I mean, it was fantastic because
how did you get fired?
Well, normally, when a company comes in and when a company gets bought out, they have a team that comes in and kind of runs through the situation, and they reduce every department by, I don't know, at least 30%, right? Maybe 50%. So they usually start with the last hired, and I was actually one of the last hired. So I was just, cut as a, I don't know, victim of percentages, I guess. And what they didn't know is that I was actually running 2 stages at the time. I was recording on a dubbing stage, and I was running the ADR stage as well. And I was physically running back and forth between the 2 stages all day long. I mean, I was a maniac. And so they had clients sitting on both stages, and I got a call about 9:30 from the head of the department. Who said, Greg, I'm really sorry. I had absolutely nothing to do with that. Yes, I said, Bob, don't worry. I understand. And so we went through this whole process of what would it take to get me back, kind of a thing. And we finally decided on double daily. We got down to the money issue. And so I went back for double daily, and I stayed on double daily from then on.
Okay.
I mean, so I basically increased my salary by about 300%.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it was fabulous.